Hello Scorpio friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Scorpio July 2022 Astrology Must-Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com to see all the free goodies I make for you each month. You can see that link underneath the podcast if you're listening that way, or click the little more button underneath the YouTube video to reveal the notes with the link. If you are a Scorpio as your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Scorpio placement, this is for you. And if you are a very late degree Scorpio placement, so we'll say 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, or like November 13th through the rest of the sign, then I also suggest you listen to my Sagittarius report because you late degree friends will benefit from both readings. What's going on in July? We've got a lot to talk about as usual, and we'll go into the details piece by piece to help you have the best month possible by being forewarned. And there are a lot of details moving for this move, these moving parts are coming together because we've got almost 10 more aspects compared to what we have been looking at before. So the skies are very, very busy. So for the planets that I'm looking at for this report, there's a lot more activity in the stars. Now, fortunately, it's a little bit of a different type of activity compared to like the eclipse season that we're walking out of in July. So the end of March, all of April, supercharged in May, and into June, we had eclipse season, which was a time very, very, very intense for Scorpios, especially with that full moon, lunar eclipse, blood moon, drama bringing time in May that echoed into June. So the type of busyness I'm talking about now is not like that. Okay, so those were life-changing things, especially for Scorpio, because of it being in your sign. And, this is a time that is more of a break. It's more of a time to integrate the changes that happened. It's more of a time to run with the trajectory or run into the trajectory that has been presented for you as new, and to embrace all of the opportunities that came and deal with the things that changed that maybe weren't your favorite things. So the kind of busyness that's happening now is just sort of nuisance aspects and delightful little kisses. Okay, so we do have more salty aspects compared to sweet aspects, but there are still 11 points of sweet contact this month, and some of them are very, very extra special for Scorpio, which we'll talk about. The next big must know is that this month and July and August are months to be revered and celebrated for a number of reasons. One is that they are the breaks out of eclipse season. We'll start to getting deeper into September, then October, November, into December. Going to be very intense with eclipse energies again, but here we are in July and we don't have that going on. Okay, so it is really a nice break from those energies. Plus, the last Saturn-Uranus square is going to be happening in October, November. So that's going to add additional intensity to that time, and Mars, your co-ruler, will be retrograde. Okay, so we'll talk about all those things as we get closer to the time, but I wanted to just give you the heads up beforehand to let you know that, there are some other factors we're going to be working with in those times that we're not dealing with now. So this is a time to be happy that we're not dealing with that yet. Okay, so the next big must know is that the open window that started June 19th that goes through August 21st is a time free from personal planet retrograde. So no Mercury retrograde, no Mars retrograde, no Venus retrograde, or the shadow periods, which means it's a time for big decisions, launches, big, new jobs, moves, big sales, big purchases, engagements, weddings, big parties, big trips. All of that has amazing energy at this time. And even though we do have some nuisance aspects and one big kind of one that we will also talk about, it's still much lighter energetically for Scorpio compared to what we have just walked through for you. Okay, so that is something to celebrate. And it's important to know that the tides are rolling out in July. Okay, that window from June 19th through August 21st means that anything you want to push out to sea, to go far and wide, something long term, something that needs a lot of oomph, this is a great month to do that. And you really want to take advantage of it, because when Mars is going in retrograde and we have the Mercury retrogrades and everything that will dominate from September into the beginning of 2023, it's not going to be harder to push things far and wide. There are plenty of things that we can do, and I'll talk at length about those things when the time comes. But one of those things is not trying to push something far and wide, because the energies are pushing in. And when you try to push out for that those tides rolling in, you're going to get that resistance and it's not going to go as far as you want. But right now, you've got open license to push as far and wide as possible. Okay, so now we have to talk about something yucky. You know, I'm an optimist, I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm definitely always looking to see positive things that we can do even with the challenging energies. But sometimes I just have to straight up warn you that something nasty is coming, and this is one of those things. Mars square Pluto. July 1st, we'll be feeling it in the last days of June and, you know, the first 4 or 5 days, especially of July. The closer to the first, probably the more intense. Mars, co-ruler of you all Scorpios, in the sign that it also rules, Aries, god of war, right? Pluto, you know how intense that is. It's your ruler. Death, birth, transformation, rebirth. In the stern side of Capricorn, making a clash. Okay, so yeah, sounds pretty nasty, right? And if you were going to hide under a rock at any point, this would be a good time to do that. Now, if you are feeling good and nothing weird is happening and you know everything's flowing, then get out from under the rock, because we do have some other beautiful aspects that are happening at that time. But it's kind of like water currents. This is how I liken it to. Like, imagine you're at the beach and there's a cooler water current and there's a warmer water current, and maybe, you know, your arm is in the water, the warmer one, and your leg is in the cooler one, and you kind of are experiencing both of those at the same time. That's what these orbs of energy around these potentials from these connections are like. So you've got this sort of nasty, almost dangerous, really, volatile, combustive, atomic clash of egos and arguments, and, you know, people having all this repressed energy letting loose, and, you know, just people really not acting in their best at this time, with a chance to even become violent, you know, and it's just really, really, really dicey. But at the same time, so that current is there, and you might be in that current more than somebody else, maybe because it's connecting in with your chart mathematically, or you could be more in the current where there are these great aspects and things are flowing and you're feeling good. So you just really have to, you know, follow your intuition, tune into the energies, see how the energy's going, and, you know, follow that for yourself. But it's good to be aware. You don't want to antagonize somebody who's on edge at this time, and you want to assume that everybody's on edge at this time, even if they don't look like it, and just kind of tread lightly. Don't bring up a topic that is dicey. Don't, you know, make someone angry that you know is already on edge. It's not a time to push things, okay? Because it could have some long-lasting negative effects as well, because that Pluto in Capricorn, that energy of Capricorn is, you know, is Saturnian. It's like a long-term thing. So just really be careful there. Now, let's see what else. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about has to do with the supermoon in the middle of the month. Okay, now I'm going to be going over certain aspects and their degrees and their dates in this report, as I usually do. But remember that if you want a detailed list of all the aspects that I'm looking at, what their days are, what their potentials are, delivered into your inbox 1 month early, then you definitely want to go to anniehelpsyou.com and sign up for my free email newsletter, because that's what I give the people in my email community. But we will go over important things to note, and here is another one. The days around July 13th, a second supermoon in a row. The last one would have been June 14th, now July 13th, supermoon in Capricorn at 21 degrees. This is a full moon. Full moons bring fullness, completion, fruition, drama, accomplishments. Fortunately, this is in a nice angle for your Scorpio placement at least, but I don't know what other placements you have, and it might not be in a great angle for those placements. I can only speak to what I know about you at this moment, which is that you have a Scorpio placement, okay? So if you feel the moons 2 to 3 days ahead, like I tend to do, a full moon, can't sleep, you're anxious, you have insomnia, then you might be feeling this moon earlier, okay? So I just want to give you that heads up. So in case you're wondering what's going on, it's a big must know that the intensity of this moon will be more, because a supermoon is one that occurs when the moon is closer to the earth. So the gravitational forces exerted on the earth and the water, and including us, being mostly water, are going to be stronger, okay? So there will be intensity there, for better or for worse. Now, the supermoon in Capricorn can bring business, work, employment, accomplishment, recognition, you know, business goals. Like if you're trying to launch a business, this is a really great energy to like show your wares and show the world what you've got. So it's very, very supportive to do something like that in the middle of the month and close to this, this supermoon. And anything having to do with father figures or authority figures. And again, when I say father figure, a father figure could turn out to be a female in gender, like single moms, very classically holds the energy of a father figure. So when I say father figure, I'm not meaning gender specific. It's just something that holds that energy of like a Saturnian, disciplined, authority figure in your life, including bosses and things like that. So there might be something notable there, and to be looking out for that. The other area of life that can be very much accentuated with this fullness, completion, fruition, possibly drama for better or worse, is in your house of relatives. Okay, so sisters, cousins, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. There's a lot of something going on in that field where something notable, news or information or events could be, going on. Or maybe you're making plans to see them or something is happening there. Also, this is transportation and devices. This could be great in the way of, hey, you get the car you've wanted, or great, you get upgraded in your device. And this is a beautiful time to do that, because when we're free from the personal planet retrogrades, it's actually a really good time to make big purchases like that. So maybe something like that is manifesting for you at this time. And that would be fantastic. Now, all of you have the chance for the goodies, but those of you closer to 21 degrees, so we'll say 16 degrees through 26 degrees, and the closer to 21 degrees, the more you get the kiss. That would correspond with birthdays like around November 6th through 16th, and the closer to November 11th, the more, that energy is the strongest for you. And if you want to know your degrees, run a free birth chart online. You can just search for how to run a free birth chart, or you also get that capacity as a member of my email community. And you get in the welcome letter when you sign up for my newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com, you get the code to run the chart. Okay, so I'm giving you the means through which you can use my readings in deeper ways. Okay, so the next big must know is that we have a lot of Cancer energy, which is a trine energy for you. It's the most favorable in all of astrology. So we always welcome those beautiful times when the elements are in sync with your own. All right, so water speaks your language. It speaks to emotion. It speaks to, interpersonal connections. It speaks to intuition and the things that are lesser seen. Scorpios are very, very, very in tune to the things that people are not saying. And sometimes if someone thinks a Scorpio is reactive and someone says, oh, I'm just saying this, sometimes you are reacting to the thing that they're not saying, but they're meaning behind their words. And, this unseen realm of intuition and feeling is very powerful for you. So you'll have some nice blessings at this time, and you can have some really great expanding spiritual insights that can tie together information that might have seemed more cryptic to you before. This can make you feel even more hopeful and optimistic, and it can bring things having to do with teaching or learning that are very profound, education programs or something, involving your kids' education. This also can have to do with immigration or different countries, different cultures. If you're trying to move to a different country, you've got a massive amount of support now. And also things having to do with different languages. If you're trying to learn another language, this is supportive. So anything, publishing, writing, speaking, those kind of things are getting some extra boosts at this time. So if you're trying to launch a business or get a new job or do something like that involve international business, this is exceptional for you at this time. The next big must know is we do still have some energy in Gemini, and that is a little dizzying for you. And it makes a little bit of an awkward angle, but that's kind of working itself out earlier in the month. But there might be a little bit of vacillation or a little confusion or a little, some decisions to make involving wills, inheritances, investments, things with your relationship, things with your spouse or their family, or your partner and their family might be coming up very strongly for you to work with at this time. Another big must know is that we are having energies move into Leo. Now, for Scorpio, this highlights your house of work and career and employment. And actually those same things I talked about earlier in the report with, authority figures and that kind of thing. You're getting those aspected from multiple ways at this time. So if you're looking for a job, this is an amazing time. If you're trying to launch your business, this has extra oomph in multiple ways for you at this time. If you're trying to make peace with something, your father or father figure, did or find peace with authorities or make headway there, this is also fantastic for that. So this is a time where work you're doing might go out further and you might be more recognized for the things you have done. So that's all very exciting. Now do note that those Leo energies, as bright and wonderful as they can be for that sector of your life, they are in a point of conflict for you. So there might be something challenging about it. Like maybe you get a new job, but now you have to do the work, for your learning curve. Or maybe, you're on the verge of something with your business, but now you have to do the work in order to make it happen. A pressure point doesn't have to be something bad. It could be just the work that's involved in making something good happen that you're very, very happy about. But you will be feeling that for sure. Okay, so the next big must know is that Jupiter is going, well, actually, we won't get into that yet. Yep, no, we will talk about that now. Okay, so Jupiter's going in retrograde July 28th through November 23rd. This is a time when things that had been blazing forward might start to cool down. So if you notice that some projects that were really, really taking flight, then they just seem to be disappearing or fizzling, don't be too concerned at this time, because there's a very good chance that there's work that has to be done internally or more behind the scenes, or that work is going on for you behind the scenes that you're just not aware of it. And so that, this is a process. Jupiter retrograde, for the 4-ish months that it happens, is a process by which Jupiter goes back and shores up your foundations for the continued growth of your skyscraper. Okay, so we know that if you want to have a very tall skyscraper that doesn't topple, you have to have a very strong foundation. So in Jupiter retrograde, you can be made aware of those foundational flaws, shore them up so that when it goes direct again, you can build your skyscraper even higher. Okay, so this is, it's good to know at least that if something seems like it's going away, it might just be temporary, and that could just be what's happening. So just kind of look inward and know that if it's meant to move forward, you'll probably start seeing signs of that as we get more into November. Okay, so the last big must know has to do with this beautiful water trine on July 17th or 18th, depending on your time zone. You'll be feeling it in the days around then, even like the 14th through the 21st, like that week. There's a beautiful connection in the stars with Mercury and Neptune making a trine. And so this is beautiful for everybody in the zodiac, but especially water signs, okay? So the kinds of things that you might see from this are things, again, related to that inner world, psychological breakthroughs, things with your genetics that reveal important pieces, mysteries being solved, deep, intimate connections with people that are very fulfilling, deepening your connection with the divine, spiritual progress, psychological advancement, and if you're writing something or creating something behind the scenes, musically or otherwise, this is a time where you might be very, very inspired. Okay, and this is, very exciting. So all of the Scorpios will feel extra kisses from this, but those of you who are in the 25 degree, so basically all the late degrees, so 20 to 29 degrees, basically the same friends who I said it's good for you to also listen to the Sag report, all of you will be in there, plus a little bit sooner. So we'll say like November, let's see if it's a 10th through the rest of the sign, you all will be the most positively, 10th, 11th, in the days around there. And the closer you are to like November 15th, the more of a kiss you'll get from this. I know that was the last thing I was going to mention, but one more thing I wanted to talk about is that we do actually have 3 fire trines at the end of the month. And even though fire is not the one that goes in as good as the water for you, a trine is a trine and a blessing is a blessing. So expect a lot of extra creative zest, a lot of extra impetus, ambition, movement, something that kind of lights a fire under your water, which is what fire does to water signs. It gives you impetus to move forward, to create, to make something happen, to take action steps, to do the things that are necessary for things to leave your emotional plane and go into the plane of inspiration that will then be able to lead to the plane of manifestation. Okay, so I've given you lots to work with to help you make the most of the energies this month and to help you understand the energetic patterns at work and play. And if you'd like more resources, I've got all of these here. You can additionally go to the little more button, the little arrow underneath the bottom right of the video. Click on that and all of the links that I'm giving you here will be clickable, right? So if you're looking for reading options, including a beautiful, very detailed 45-minute audio of your birth chart for $33 from my brilliant husband, you can find that at anniebclarity.com. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. This is where you can access running a free birth chart. This is where you access my 28-day in-depth virtual coaching program called Shine for free. This is also where you'll find tons of blogs, and you get lots of other perks for being on my newsletter list. If you're looking for written horoscopes by me, always up a month early, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. If you haven't seen this site, go to it. It is so beautiful. We've got, me and my team have lots of amazing astrology-inspired blogs and healthy living blogs. We've got hypnosis for all the signs. We've got healing frequencies for all the signs. I've got the written horoscopes that I write. We have yoga for all the signs. So it's just a very beautiful, comprehensive site. If you're looking for free courses on how to manifest money and wellness, you can go to lumlife.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, LUMLIFE. You can also find my astrology education courses here, including my behemoth of a master course called Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, which you can fully utilize even if you don't want to be a professional astrologer, but it certainly will get you up to the level where you could be and show you how to make your business a success. And payment plans are available there too. Now, I've also got 2 books out and more on the way. Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You will find this on the bookshelves in all major booksellers, including all the Books A Million, all the Barnes & Nobles. It's right there on the shelf. Plus, you can get it on Amazon and through any independent bookseller. And you can find Radical Prayer on Amazon, and you can order it anywhere as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye!